Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Josh Hart from HartStudios, located here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And today I'm going to be showing you how I EQ a vocal to fit inside a very dense mix that has a lot of stuff going on. Let's take a listen.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. Tell you it's irrelevant, but you're trying to unlock it.
All right, so you can hear right away there's a lot of guitars, there's drums, there's a bunch of stuff going on. So for the vocal to cut through is very important because I believe a vocal should be the center of a mix at all times, but it's difficult to get that whenever there's a lot of stuff going on. So I believe there's two things that play a very important role, and that's EQ and compression. And today I'm going to be talking about EQ. So I'm just going to play the mix again without EQ on the vocal, and you can hear the difference, what it makes. So this is without any EQ.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. Tell you it's irrelevant, but you're trying to unlock it.
All right, so as you can hear, the vocal isn't as present. Yeah, it's fine, but you don't hear the articulation. You don't hear the words as clear. It doesn't pop as much. So I'll just play a shorter part just so you can really hear the difference, and I'll put them in and take them out. All right, so here it is with it on.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet.
All right, so now I'm going to dig into the plugins and show you what I'm doing and what my thought process is behind doing this. So first, I have an EQ. I'm using the FabFilter Pro Q2. The plugins I use do not matter. You can use anything. You can use the stock plugins. This is just the plugins that I use and that I've collected over the years. All right, so what I'm doing with this vocal, first off, is I'm using a low cut. And what a low cut is going to do is not really dramatic. You're not going to really hear the difference, but it's basically taking any noise, any rumble that is not meant to be heard or you don't really want to hear, and that's going to be taking that out of the vocals. So yeah, basically my method is I'll put not a super sharp slope, but I'll put a low cut on the vocal, and then I'll just sweep back and forth like that until I'm taking out too much bass out of the vocal, and then I'll just bring it back a bit, and that's usually where I'll land on for a low pass. And most of the time I'm usually doing this to most vocals. The next thing I did was I went in and I'm not sure the name of the method, but basically what it is I boost the frequency. I put a lower Q, and what's cool about this plugin is you can solo out the actual frequency. So I'll play a little. All right, so if I play the vocal and I hit this little headphone, you can hear that I'm actually soloing out the frequency. So
And I'm living with these skeletons.
So yeah, that sounds like shit, but basically what I did is I boosted where I heard frequencies that were a buildup, so maybe too much of a bass, and that's exactly what I heard. So I just did that. I boosted it up. There was too much bass around here, around 230, around 480, and 710. And I narrowed the Qs a bit, and I just notched them down a bit. Just gives it more clarity. And then to add even more clarity, I did the typical boost around 12K, the shelf, and maybe a bit around 10K. So I'll just bypass this plugin in and out with just the vocal solo. So here we go.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. And I'm living with these skeletons.
So this plugin alone is not a huge difference, but it's doing the things that I described. I always like to do bits and pieces, not just everything at once. I noticed that it just sounds better that way. It's more discreet. So the next EQ plugin I have is a Pultec. So this is an emulation of a piece of analog hardware. This is by Waves. There's other plugin companies that do this. This is not really a plugin that you're going to find in your DAW, but essentially I'm doing the same thing again. I'm just boosting around 10K, and this is giving it kind of a shelf to give it more clarity. And I think, yeah, that's about all. I maybe notched in like not even half a dB at 100 again, just to get some of that mud out. And I think this is more apparent of what it's doing to the vocals. So I'll play this one soloed in and out, and you can probably hear a lot more. So here we go.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet.
So yeah, this one you can definitely hear the articulation. Whenever he says closet, the S's, everything is more apparent. So this is what's going to help inside of a dense mix. This is what's going to help stand out amongst the guitars, the vocals, the guitars, the drums, sorry, everything that's going on. So a lot of people would probably just say, well, why don't you just raise the volume of the vocal? And that's totally a valid point. But if you were to do that, you get the sense of then that the vocal is sitting on top of the mix rather than it's in the mix. So it's almost like it's louder than everything, and you can never really find that balance. So people call this EQ carving. You can name it whatever you want, but essentially what you're doing is you're removing space from a vocal, or you're adding space EQ wise to make it fit into the mix that the other instruments are reacting to. So if there's a lot of bass going on in a mix, there's not so much in this, but whether that's from guitars or whatever it is, and there's enough bass in your vocals, that's going to be colliding. So taking out bass from your vocals or the guitar, whatever you feel is appropriate, is going to help make it fit in the mix rather than just boosting up the volume. So this is my prolonged approach to EQing vocals. And yeah, so I'll play it one more last time in the mix with all the effects on, with EQ in and out. And yeah, this is my simple quick tip of why I EQ, or how I EQ a vocal in a heavy dense mix. So I'll play it in and then out. All right.
And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. Tell you it's irrelevant, but you're trying to unlock it. And I'm living with these skeletons. They're hiding in my closet. Tell you it's irrelevant, but you're trying to unlock it.
So there it is, guys. Like again, I said, my name is Josh Hart from HartStudios, located in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm going to be doing more tutorials like this. Probably my next one will be covering compression and how it plays a role in the same method of getting those vocals to sit in a heavy dense mix. If you want to know any other techniques that maybe you had on your mind that you were trying to learn, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.